Good morning, everyone. Nothing like getting almost all the way through your video and then a phantom stop by on the camera. So here we go again. All right, so games from Valentine's Day, a full slate of games. So we're here to talk about it. Hope you all having a good weekend. All right, first game. Got to get back to my notes here. Danbury just explodes for 5 goals in the third period, and that is the difference maker as they hold off the challenge of the Port Huron Prowlers. It's a 7-2 win, so Danbury automatically will be in second place at the conclusion of this weekend. If you don't know, it's second place and third place, and now there's a 7-point gap between the two teams. So for this game, Vadim Frolov had a hat trick. The vodka line, they had 11 points altogether, and it was a long night for Valtteri Nusian, and a lot of goalies last night did not get much love. Nusian 24 saves and 30 shots. The last goal was an empty netter. Connor McCollum, 21 saves and 23 opportunities. And the game-winning goal is scored by Kyle Gonzalez early in the third period at 1:28, and that was the first of 5 goals in a row for the hat tricks. Shots on goal, 9-8 in favor of the Prowlers in the first period, 10-8 in favor of Danbury in the second. So the game was very close for a while in shots, and then 13-6 in that third period, and it just seems like the floodgates opened up. So Danbury is now 20-10-6. They have won their last 7 in a row now. Port Huron falling, they've lost their last 3. They're 19-15-4. Falling down in the 4th place. And we'll get to that a little later. All right. Crowd of 1045 on hand at McMorran Place. Okay. For the Bobcats, they went in hoping to create a little bit of separation between them and 6th place Monroe, and it didn't happen. But then nothing bad happened either. We'll get into that later on. Columbus, they hold their own, a 3-1 win. Not very offensively impressive, but you've got 2 goaltenders that are extremely good at their jobs. Sammy Bernard for the River Dragons and Hunter Verostek for the Bobcats. Unfortunately, the Bobcats just could not generate enough offense. And so the game, 3-1, well, it doesn't sound bad, but it seems a little bit lopsided, and the game really wasn't. But anyway, Hunter Hall scoring the lone goal for the Bobcats. The game-winning goal scored by Austin Daae, shorthanded goal at 18:53 of the second period. At that point, it was 2-0. When you only need 2 goals to get the win, your defense is playing pretty well. Shots were 8 for the Bobcats, 10 for Columbus in the first. In the second, it opened up more. It was Bobcats 13 to Columbus's 17, and then 11-7 in favor of Columbus in the third. So total shots 38-28. So Bernard saves 27, while Verostek saves 35. Crowd of 2707 on hand. Columbus just hasn't been having a lot of success at the gate, and I'm sure there's a number of considerations to be factored into that. But it's kind of sad to see because, the last 2 years in a row, Columbus was like right on the cusp of breaking that 100,000 fan mark, and I don't know if they're going to get that close this year. So if you're in Columbus, you have an opportunity, go see a River Dragons game. A public service message from the Fed League Flash. All right, so there's that game. So Columbus improves now to 21-10-4. They stay in third place in the Continental. Bobcats still in 5th, 18-13-4. And then this game, for if you caught my audio podcast, I picked the Dashers to win this game. I really did. And no, I wasn't drunk. I wasn't on drugs. No, it was just the fact that I'm looking at things thinking the Dashers have been playing a little bit better lately, and Athens just played Wednesday night at home and then had a long day of travel. I thought, the Dashers could end up catching Athens just being really tired. And for 53 minutes, it looked like the Dashers could win. It's 2-2 going into the game late. And Kason Glott scores the game-winning goal at 13:02 of the third period. The third period was just wild for Athens. They outshot the Dashers 21-6. I think Coach Steve Martinson kind of got a little vocal at the second intermission because Athens just had a lot more oomph in their step in the third period. But it was 2-2 for quite a long time. As a matter of fact, the Dashers briefly had the 2-1 lead. Crowd of 505, hoping to see the Dashers break the streak. No, it's now at 31. So Rosenzweig, who's played very well since becoming the number one guy, 26 saves. Oscar Walden, 43 saves, and total shots 47-28 in favor of the Rock Lobsters, who are now 25-4-2. They hold second place in the Continental. The Dashers 130-3, 6 points. Yeah, it doesn't look good. But what can you do? All right, on to the big board. I thought I'd do something a little different, kind of a little bit more room for me to write. Everything isn't quite so compressed, so I kind of staggered the magnets there. All right, so seventh meeting of the year between the Binghamton Black Bears and HC Venom. Venom playing better as of late. The 3 games before this matchup, they lost 1 goal each game, and 2 went to overtime, so they were picking up a couple points along the way. And last night they got off to a fantastic start. Binghamton maybe taking things for granted until they were in a hole and they dug themselves out. So, Binghamton continues to lead the league and winning games in every different way possible. All right, so Venom, again, they come out. It's Rahul Sharma in goal for the Venom. I was hoping that he would get the opportunity to play. And, he gives up 5 goals, and you still come out going, wow, he played a great game. Sharma's going to be a very good player. Right now, he's not in the best of situations. The Venom are struggling to get wins, but he's doing what he can to help keep the Venom competitive. So it'll be interesting to watch him the rest of the year. So for this game, Connor McAnanima did not have his best game, especially in the first period. But I give the Venom credit; they were picking their shots. They were only getting a few shots on goal, and when they got an opportunity, they took it. In this first period, Mark Posar scores just 124 in on a juicy rebound, and so it's 1-0 very early for the Venom. Brett Parker makes it 2-0 at 4:13 on the power play. So Binghamton was in a little bit of penalty trouble early on, and the Venom made him pay. So it's 2-0. The crowd is dead silent until Gavin Yates scores at 11:06 in a 4-on-4 situation. And there was just nothing that Sharma could do on that goal. Nifty little move. So the Venom did counter, though. It's Luke Richards scoring at 15:01. 3-1 Venom at the end of the first period, and shots were 18-5 in favor of the Binghamton Black Bears. And yet the score was 3-1. So, I'm sorry, that wasn't the end of the first period. I know I just wrote the wrong number. So yeah, so CJ Stubbs scores late at 17:34. That made it 3-2. That's where we ended up the first period. I'm sorry, I haven't had my coffee yet. Okay, so in the second period, Binghamton ties things up. It's Don Oliveri on power play at 8:22. So now we go to 3-3 shots in the second period, 16-5 in favor of the Black Bears. So yeah, the Venom only had 10 shots on goal, and yet they're tied 3-3. So, I think they were happy with the fact that they were tied, but I don't think they were happy with the fact that they could only generate 10 shots on goal. And they had a lot of good puck movement throughout the early part of this game. Third period, they kind of just wore down. Binghamton took advantage. Is Tyson Kirkby scoring at 2:15, a really nifty backhand over the shoulder of Rahul Sharma. Sharma positioned himself perfectly, and Kirkby just beat him. And then Kirkby scores again at 5:52 on the power play on a goal that it looked like the puck hadn't fully crossed the line. And when Sharma reached back to try and scoop it out, he accidentally kind of pushed it across the line. So that counts. The referee signaling goal. And there you go. It's 5-3. The rest of the game, Binghamton just kind of holds things off. Again, holds the Venom to 5 shots on goal in the period. So shots overall 43-15. Binghamton now 33-4-1, and the Venom 7-21-3. With it's kind of anticlimactic, but with a win tonight, as these two teams match up, Binghamton will officially clinch the first playoff spot if they get a regulation win over the Venom. All right. So Luke Richard had a goal and assist. Mark Pozar with the goal. Sharma, he stops 38. Again, he played well. Kirkby with 2 goals and an assist, and he is now tied for the scoring lead once again in the FPHL. Yates and Stubbs both had the goal and assist. And Connor McAnama, it wasn't pretty, but he got a win. 21st of the year, 12 shots saved in 15. All right, kind of a smaller crowd there too, 33-97. I guess a lot of people are preparing for the bad weather that's going to be hitting the Northeast today and tomorrow and Monday. So tired of winter. Although I like the hockey. All right, so Watertown, they vault themselves into third place as they handily defeat the Rockers. This was a game of streaks. Watertown, they get hot. They scored 3 goals in a very short period of time past Trevor Babin. It's Stephen Klinck scoring at 9:32 of the first. 10:05, it's Mark Badera scoring and a breakaway goal. And then it's Trevor Graspy scoring at 10:31. So there you go, 59 seconds, 3 goals. And that was a big, big hole for Motor City to climb out of. They almost did. Next 2 goals by the Rockers. It's first Jameson Milan scoring on the power play at 11:08. So, didn't take too long for the Rockers to respond. And then Nicholas McGill Diaz, he scores at 16:52. So it's 3-2 at the end of 1. And shots were 16-11 in favor of Watertown, but the Rockers are probably feeling like, okay, we're back in this, we're all right. Until second period, it's Stephen Klinck scoring his second of the night at 12:10. David Gaeta, he scores at 15:22. So that puts the game at 5-2 at the end of 2. Shots by now 30 in favor of Watertown for just 24 for the Rockers. Excuse me. It was a rough night, and it was going to get a lot rougher for the Rockers as Watertown gets 3 more goals. First, it's Stephen Klinck getting his Hattie at 2:36, one of 2 Hatties on the night across the league. David Gaeta, he gets his second at 13:50. It's Carter Thornton scoring at 15:18, short-handed. And it's 8-2. kind of a quiet goal by Doug Blaisdell at the end of the third. It was actually just a few seconds after Thornton scored shorthanded. Blaisdell scored on the same man advantage power play. And so there you go. It's 8-3 a final. And I will say this about the Rockers. At least they held the shots and goal in check. As the final shot total 41 for Watertown, 40 for the Rockers, as they kind of tried to generate more offense in the third period, but it was just too late. So Stephen Klinck, 3 goals and an assist as well. Gaid, 2 goals and an assist. And Trevor Graspy, he scores a goal and 2 assists as well. And Anton Brodkin, 37 saves and 40 opportunities. Babin, a rough night, 33 saves on 41 shots. So Nick Gull quietly had a couple of assists for the Rockers, but that's just the way it goes. Watertown now 21-12-1. Again, in third place. Meanwhile, the Rockers, well, they're not losing any ground to the Venom, holding on to that 5th spot, but they've struggled as of late. 13-21-2 for them. All right, this was what a game! What a game! This was a real bite, claw, stretch. This game had a little bit of everything, and it was very, very close the whole way. Nobody had more than a 1-goal lead at any time in this game. The Zydeco hold off the Moccasins before a sellout crowd at the Monroe Civic Center. It was a very loud, raucous crowd, a very good performance by both teams, good defensive battle, and Baton Rouge ends up with the split in the 2-game series. They'll be idle tonight, but they will play again on Sunday. So Baton Rouge, they hold pace with Columbus. The game started off in favor of the Moccasins, as it is Anderson scoring at 10:44 of the first, scoring past goaltender Bailey Stevens. The other end was Sean Kuhn. He was beaten at 13:27 by Elijah Wilson, who had himself a really nice pair of games. Late in the very strange carom off of the boards, there's some weird bounces in the Monroe Civic Center, and Nick Catola was able to take advantage of the one. The puck somehow gets past Sean Kuhn on just the bizarre bounce, and the officials had to look at this for a good long time. It took a good 6 to 7 minutes before they finally said, "Yeah, that's a goal." 1950, 10 seconds before the intermission. So it's 2-1 Zydeco. Shots worth 9-6 in favor of the Moccasins. Yeah, low shot total. In the second period, Corey Cunningham, 15-18 on the power play. He ties things up. A little bam action in front of the goal. And he gets on the board, so it's 2-2 at the end of 2. Shots again in favor of Monroe in that second period, 10-7. And then in the third period, the teams are just digging, they're fighting, they're clawing. Finally, one offensive break for Dmitry Kuznetsov, and he scores at 13:45. That's the game-winning goal. At the end, Kuhn gets pulled, 6-on-5 man advantage situation. A couple of mad scrambles in front of Stevens, and Stevens holds his own and bars the door, and there you go. It's a 3-2 win. So Baton Rouge now 22-10-5. They had 23 shots on goal for the night. Monroe 24. Yeah, low shot total for a Fed game. 17-14-5 now. They just couldn't gain ground on the Blue Ridge Bobcats, who of course lost. So there's still a 5-point differential. That's 2 wins. Gets them into that 5th place spot. But yeah, what a game and what a crowd. So yeah, Elijah Wilson, he has a goal and assist. He is the only player to have more than 1 point. And Billy Stevens, 22 saves, 24 opportunities. Meanwhile, Sean Kuhn, he played 58-30 and saved 20 of 23. All right, so that was really interesting. And then the final game, not much interest here. And I'm not saying that as a slam. I'm just saying that the game was, yeah, it was pretty tilted early, and Mississippi couldn't generate shots on goal. Carolina committed to a sound defensive game, which opened up the offensive side of the ice for them, and they go with a 7-2 victory over the Seawolves. So in this game, it's Gus Ford. He scores at 2:55, past Richie Perrant. Perrant, of course, um, he was the starter last night. Ed Coffey was out with an illness, and so they signed Ryan Malinowski as an emergency backup. But yeah, you knew that Perrant was going to be in goal for most of the game, and he played all right, but just faced a lot of pressure. John Butita, 10:33, 10:53 of the first period. He gets his 300th career FPHL point, and that puts Carolina up 2-0. Now, there was a brief response on the power play by the Seawolves. That's Matt Stoya scores at 16:27. But then, 18:50, it's Gus Ford scoring again. So it's 3-1 at the end of one. Shots 18-4 in favor of Carolina. Very quiet Mississippi Coast Coliseum last night. In the second period, Zach White scores in the power play at 2:37. Roman Kramer scores 7:37. The power play had just elapsed, so it was an even strength goal. And Dmitry Salyutin, he scores at 13:51. So suddenly it's 6-1. Shots at the end of the second. Now 34 in favor of Carolina, favor of Carolina, to 10 for the Seawolves. And in the third period, it was the same thing. Carolina outshooting the Seawolves 10-4. Did have a goal from Curtis Hanson at 15 seconds in, so that was kind of quick. Another goal that was looked at for a little bit, and on the play, they looked at the goal just because there was the opportunity. Because on the play, I believe it was Lane King that got hit in the mouth with an accidental high stick, and they had to clean the ice off for that. But nonetheless, a quick response from Carolina, 131. It's Salyutin scoring a second, and that's the way the game ended. 7-2. Crowd of 1932 on hand. I can't blame the crowd for not showing up. I don't want to go into all that. All right, so Carolina, they got a solid hold on first place. 26-7-3 now, 79 points. Mississippi 5-31-3. Their elimination number, I believe, is now 12. 12. 12 points, and they're officially eliminated from the playoffs. So, long season in Mississippi. All right, so Boris Babick, he saves 12 of 14 for the Thunderbirds, and Perrant stopped 37 shots. Ford ends up with 2 goals and 2 assists. Salyutin, 2 goals and assists, and Roman Kramer and Zach White, both a goal and 2 assists. Meanwhile, Sam Turner, he gets 2 assists for the Seawolves, and then Matt Stoya, he scored the power play goal. That was about it. That's all you can say there. So yeah, Mississippi. I'm sorry, but yeah, it's looking pretty rough. Okay, so we have 6 games tonight. So again, Baton Rouge and Monroe are idle tonight, but Baton Rouge will play on Sunday. So there you go. There's your recap for Valentine's Day. I hope you have a good weekend. If you're in the Northeast, get your bread and milk from the store. Get plenty of rock salt. If you can find eggs, good for you. Anyway, I am Gary Ryan for the Fed League Flash. I hope you all have a wonderful day. We will see you here again tomorrow.